Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. You're probably wondering, Aaron, what exactly have you got there? Well, I'm always trying to develop new ships for the drone army, and new things that I can bring into the survival world, and this is my concept of a fast attack large ship with a shotgun attachment. So, as you can see, we can literally bombard and blast ships, move over them, let it reload, fire again. We've got loads of little Timmy cannons on the front that are 300mm, so you can see we can absolutely disintegrate targets. Like that ship has just been ripped apart. And then, because we've got a good thrust pack, we can whip out the area very quickly and evade in the mountains. It's also good as a sort of sniper variant in this. You can kind of get yourself into a position, loiter, pop up from a hill, engage and get back down. Anyway, let's pull up this ship and actually have a look at it, and then we'll set up some targets and do some testing. So as I exit this ship here, you'll notice that the interior is very bland, and that's done on purpose. This ship needs to be able to be constructed at, number one, a cheap rate, and doesn't need a complex interior. Complex interior is simply just increase the time that it's going to take to design and build your ship, so everything's laid out, it's easily accessible, so you can go in there with your welder. And of course, let's have a look at it. So we've got this sort of ring, sort of circular entrance mouthpiece. We've got 26 little Timmy cannons. I know they're not called that, but that's my preferred name for them. And you can see as they're actually wrapped around this area, you can see we've got the thrusters on each one of the points. We've also got thrusters tucked in the side here in case they go down, so we can still stop. On the sides, of course, we have 900mm cannons, so if you're reloading the main armament, these guys can be engaging. And on top and bottoms, to try to keep away men with grinders, we have the Vulcans. Also, these are quite good at anti-fighter defense. But the main reason for this ship, it's going to be a support vessel. It's going to be a fast attack. It's not going to be sitting around where people can sort of injure it and take it down quickly. Now, moving around the back, what gives it its speed is the combination of the large single thruster as well as the four at the back. So if the large one is taken out, you've still got a little bit of propulsion, but at the same time, my idea is whip this in quick, take minimal damage, do a lot of damage, and get out of there. The other alternative I've noticed with a lot of atmospheric ships is one of the biggest flaws is them getting taken out of the sky. So I've tested this thoroughly. Even if I lose the large thruster, the light thrusters will hold me up even with a few missing, and vice versa. So if the large thrusters do get damaged and a few of the smaller ones get damaged as well, I can stay afloat. So let's actually have a look at this thing and get back inside. So once I'm inside, you're just going to wrap yourself up past the engine bays, not going to get yourself too injured, and get into the secret cockpit that is located behind here. So once you're in here, we can do this. The ship's actually accelerating, that's what's making it a little bit harder. And then we can level it off like so. So now that's all done, we're leveled off. Let's set up some targets. I'm personally thinking we go some heavy armor. I've been testing it in that area. So let's just slab some light armor and heavy armor blocks into a position on the countryside. So this first target is going to, of course, be a heavy armor target, like so. And then we'll also stick in a light one just to see the variance. And then we'll fire it at a ship as well. We'll fire it at a ship that has a lot of components, so that we can actually see the damage. Come on, give us a nice little bit of speed on this camera. And then we stick that target up there as well. Perfect. Back into the cockpit of the ship, if we can. Spectator. Fly ourselves back over to the little attack orb. That I think is going to be a really nice addition to the drone fleet. I'm struggling to get this camera to work. They've changed the controls ever so slightly in the last few updates, and it makes controlling the spectator a little bit more difficult than it used to be. Right, so we've got control, we've got access, we just need to be in the right section of this ship, and then we can do everything. There we go. So the interior is quite tricky to navigate still, something I might need to work on, but I don't want to attach too many catwalks and things. So let's fire a blast at the heavy armor. Punches straight through, no issue at all. Exactly what you want to get at all them interior components. We'll fire a second volley, punches straight through again, and we know if it's punching through heavy armor like that we can attack this smaller target without any issue as well. So there we can blast it away. So the main concept of this, like I said, is fast attack. So we're going to have to manage to gather our speed very quickly. That we can do a little bit of cheating and plummet towards the ground and then pull up a little bit, and it'll give us speed a little bit faster. But as long as we follow the valley and keep engaging these targets as we go, we can do a lot of damage indeed. Let's slow this down, and a quick way of doing that is just to flip it, use that big thruster at the back to slow us a lot quicker. And then as we drift into position, just point our nose down like so. And then we can come into a hovered position. You can see them larger targets out there with a massive silhouette damage going to them. The only issue with these cannons is, due to the mod that we've got on the server at the moment, they have limited the range. So we will have to get a little bit closer to use them against Jack's ships. So you can see as the range there is not close enough to do any sort of damage. And then as I get this range, we should definitely be close enough. There we go, we can punch a little bit of a hole. Actually, that seems like it was absorbed quite a bit into the target. Let's fire another round as we pass. There we go, lovely. Loads of damage going into them targets. Let's slow this ship down and attempt to engage another ship close by. So what sort of ship shall we use? That's the question. So bring the spectator back up into a credible position. And we can exit the vessel like so. And then all we need to do is go back to the blueprints and find something to target. Now, what's a good sort of target to engage here? We've got something like the butterfly that I used as my giant shotgun ship in the last series that we can use. Let's engage that. So let's paste that into the world, even though it's missing a few components by the sound of it. Probably the shield generator mod. Let's make sure that's the right way around and then level it off. Let's stick one of them in there. And let's stick another one just a little bit further away just so we can test it out a little bit better. So now that we're back in the cockpit, we can engage. So let's just engage from a static position, see how much firepower we can do. Okay, so we missed a lot of the fire in that particular one. Maybe a camera needs to be added to the ship so we can zoom in and see the damage as we go. So there we go, we're absorbing whole sides of that ship. And I know there's a weak spot in this actual design, so let's try to aim for that. There we go. So taking out the hydrogen tanks in the butterfly design was one of its always big flaws, and with that, it simply drops down to the ground. So let's attempt a fast attack through their mountains on this ship here, see if we can catch it off guard and do a lot of damage to it. And imagine in a combat scenario, Jack of course would be engaging the rest of the fleet. So when this guy pops up, yes of course turrets will be diverted when this gets in range. But if I do it correctly, I'll let off a big volley before I take any damage. So let's whip into the mountains, we'll spin ourselves around, slow ourselves into attack position. And there we go, nice and vulnerable. The rest of the fleet are engaging that vessel. We drop down ever so slightly. We engage our thrust up to maximum. And then we begin coming over the mountains. Give it a little bit more thrust up. Then we're going to get our speed to maximum. And we're going to be using our third person to target it. So once it becomes in the 1k range, we should be going through. Missed our first shot and had a little bit of a collision. Not good at all. That was me not being very accurate. Fire the second shot. Done a little bit of damage to the rear. Tried to pull up without colliding. Oh, we took some damage. Aaron, you need to work on your piloting skills. Let's see if we can pull this back up, or we lost too many thrusters. We've lost it. And we've just become a crash little ball into the ground. Still need some work, most definitely. But I think the main part is my piloting skills need some work. If this was piloted by a more skilled pilot, maybe this could be the thrust ratios as well. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below. I wanted to just show you what I was working on. If you think this is a good idea, let us know that. If you think there's an area that needs to be worked on, maybe gaining access to the bloody thing would be useful, wouldn't it? So we could pop in and out of it a little bit easier. Some sort of door. But the main features is we've got that massive volley of firepower that can do a lot of damage to a target. But we've got a very easy ship to produce. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing what you're saying about it in the comment section.